Wah! What's happening, folks? Sorry, that's a bit alarming if you don't know. It is I, Piere, Escargot, your bro. Welcome with me on Rated PG. Unfortunately, we don't have a broski cap droski. However, comma pause for effect. We do have our very, very special guest. This is my homie coming in hot like a Lamborghini when it's stolen. Everybody make some noise for my white knight, Michael Rowland. I'm trying to get on the Kill and Be Cool show, so you know, I'm working on my bars, bro. You know,
I'm always harder than anything I spit on the Kill and Be Cool.
No, that was, bro. I'm gonna plug that show real quick too. Kill and Be Cool. You guys need to go ahead and check that show.
Yeah,
Mr. Mike Rowland came in that bitch like they owed him money.
But they're a lot of fun, man. There's a lot of fun. You should definitely check those out.
But yeah, shows. What is today? Fucking.
What is it, 26?
26. Yep, 28th. I will be at the Laughing Skull at 5 p.m. for the afternoon delight. 29th, I will be back at the Skull again for the 2 and 7 p.m. Best of Atlanta. Thursday, January 2nd, the Kill and Be Cool show is going to be at Smith Soul Bar. Satellite Jam session is going to be fire. 15th, I will be at the Laughing Skull Lounge again on the open mic show.
Yeah.
You have any shows coming up while you're here, brother?
Coming up here, I got the Laughing Skull Lounge tonight. That doesn't help. I got the Laughing Skull Lounge tomorrow, and then the Laughing Skull Lounge Saturday. And then that's it. I think I'm going to do the 1 a.m. show also on Saturday night.
I love the Wonders. I was there last week.
Smith's Old Bar.
Smithies.
Yes, sir.
But let me ask you this as well. You just got back from
New York?
New York? Do you spend most of your time there, or just kind of everywhere?
Yeah, no. I'm like, I've been in New York like a year and 2 months now, and my whole thing has been while I'm there, just like, I stay there, I'm really trying to establish myself. I've done a couple things outside of New York, but really I've just been, for the past, 4 months, just like working the clubs in New York repeatedly and just staying around there.
So is the comedy scene in New York kind of like here, you like just kind of walk in, it's an open mic, show up, go up type deal, or is it like a more broad, or?
It's definitely broader. So it's like, it's a bigger city, so it gives way to like many smaller scenes, I think. And you'll hear a lot about like the Manhattan scene and the fucking Brooklyn scene. I think those are two big ones. But there's also, when it comes to mics, like Queens has his own scene, fucking Uptown, Harlem, Bronx, I'm sure has its own thing going on. So,
do you feel like you get more love in one area than the other, or you just kind of go wherever you can?
Everybody tries to do both. So they try to do Brooklyn and Manhattan. So I try to make sure I'm doing shows in Brooklyn and shows in Manhattan. Although it seems like a lot of Manhattan comics don't fuck with Brooklyn, and a lot of Brooklyn comics don't really fuck with aspects of Manhattan, I think. Because the Brooklyn scene, I think, is seen as more like alty, and the Manhattan scene is seen as more like mainstream, and like the alty people see it as hack.
Right.
But like the truth is always in the middle. You want to have both elements. It's not always negative. You know
right.
what I mean?
Feel like if it's funny, it's funny. It
exactly.
doesn't matter where you're from.
So you should be able to drop into both rooms and like hit with that set.
Right.
You know?
Do you ever find yourself in a position where it's like, I may not do as good as I did tonight in this area than I would in the next, or are you just kind of universal?
I try to be universal. I think sometimes it doesn't go great, because now that I'm like, I do some club stuff in Manhattan. When I go to Brooklyn, sometimes I'll just try shit, and that doesn't always.
Well, Brooklyn, it seems like it's more free for your material.
Yeah, it's like independent shows that aren't going to pay you anyway, and they're just happy you're there. And it's like they know you can be pretty consistent, so you're like, I don't know, I've taken some chances where I'm like, let me just open with this new thing, and it's like, we don't like this.
We don't like immediately.
We don't like what you're doing. We don't like you.
Like, well, I'll be back next week. No, you will not.
No, you're done here.
I'm Michael Rowland. That's my time, ladies and gentlemen.
But that's the cool thing about New York is there's so many places.
Like, how many mics are you doing a night?
I mean, if you really wanted to do it, you could talk to fucking Alvin Quiet about that. He's a beast, but I feel like if you really wanted to, you could put down 4 or 5. Me, when I was really micing hard, it was like, I'd do like 3 on my good night. Like Wednesday night, I'd be like, 3 mics Wednesday. That's the 3 mic night.
I was going to say, that's like a Tuesday night out here.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah. But you can string them together more easily, more nights of the week.
How long have you been doing stand-up comedy, or did you just start off doing stand-up comedy? Some people start in theater or band class.
I've been like going hard at stand-up where I like made it my thing, I guess, for like 7 or 8 years now. I think I really started going for it when I was 21, where I was like, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm just gonna fucking grind. I
That's
dropped out of
dope.
college for a year and just really went after it, and then I went back to college and kept going after it, and but you know, I did other stuff before that. I think before those 7 years.
So it's like for those 8 years, has it been like a strong, solid 8 years ever since then? Because I know Humble Brag was on Comedy Central. Was that like the goal for you, or did it just kind of happen along your path?
My goal was to try to get a credit, so I could like open some doors for myself and do more shit, and just keep getting better and get longer sets. So yeah, the goal going to New York was like, I want a credit, I want a manager, I want these things. So yeah, that was definitely part of it. And for it to be Comedy Central, I really wanted anything like late night or something. For it to be Comedy Central and for it to be as short and sweet as it was, but like really concise. And I think it was a clip. People were really complimentary about it. So I was like, okay, that's perfect. A nice solid clip with, even better than late night, with like a really reputable club. I was really excited about it.
How did that go? Like, did you get like an email or something, or were you just going out and they're like, hey, we want you to...
That was all off being a dude in Atlanta. That was all off. I was up in New York, and then I came back for Laugh and Skull Fest, and there was like some Comedy Central people here that saw me, and I was tight at that point. I had a set I was really happy with, like a good 5, that sort of addressed who I was, and then also had some good technical joke writing in it, and I was just banging it out in Atlanta. I didn't realize those Comedy Central people were there, but they saw it a couple times, and then I was the only person showcasing as an Atlanta person that was like, also, I live in New York now, and they're like, oh, bet, come talk to us in New York. I go up and talk to them, and they're like, okay, we want you to audition for this show.
Right, so it was an audition.
Yeah, exactly. Audition goes well, and then they're like, okay, we want you to come shoot for the show. We won't necessarily use it. The shoot goes well, they use part of it. You know what I mean? So it was like a bunch of things lining up where it's like at every level you're nervous it's not going to work out, but sometimes you hit all the way.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Like,
it felt good.
How does auditioning go as a comedian? Like, I don't know, like, I've sent in videos.
Bro,
you know,
the worst is that you're
I've done a set in front of 2 people.
Yeah.
They were like, do your best set.
Dude, sometimes it just has to line up for you, because I remember doing the Laughing Skull competition before and feeling like I was good enough, but it was like things weren't just hitting for me that day.
Yeah.
Maybe I got a bad spot in the lineup. Maybe the crowd wasn't good. This particular audition, I had a great spot in the lineup. The crowd was good. And they told me to go topical. Like, it was supposed to be topical jokes.
Right.
But I remember getting there and just being like, fuck that. Because I saw other people doing topical stuff. I was like, man, I'm just going to go hit. So I went and I just played the hits, which I didn't know if it was a good move or not. But I did well enough that they're like, okay, you can work now. You're in. And so it turned out to be a good move. But there's been plenty of situations like that in the past where I'm like, okay, I'm going to try this. And it wasn't the move. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like a lot of bullshit before you finally get a good thing happening.
After, I was asking about this, so I've heard obviously the joke that you use in Comedy Central. Do you ever, since you've done those jokes on TV, do you feel like slighted to do them again?
No, I actually recorded another thing and I opened with one of those jokes. And after the fact, I was like, why the fuck did I do that? That was probably a bad idea. But other comics are like, nah, don't worry about it. Because everything that comes after that first joke is new shit. But I figured a different audience might see it. And I wanted to open with something that hit well and like introduced you to me well. So I opened with that joke about wanting to fuck the old lady.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And I don't feel weird about doing it again.
No. Because I realized a while ago too, even though it's been on TV, not everybody watches that same channel. Not everybody watches it at the same time.
Yeah.
And not everybody may have heard everything that you've said.
Yeah,
Because like I was watching Killing Me Cool when he was talking about Ronnie Jordan.
Yeah.
There's been so many times I've been in clubs with Ronnie Jordan and people don't even know who he is.
It's crazy.
And he'll be like, have you guys ever seen this? Like, he won't be bragging about it. He'll literally ask me.
Shirts?
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, that's Ronnie Jordan.
Yeah, and he'll ask, have you guys ever seen, like, laugh tracks or laugh mob? And they'll be like, nah. And he'll be like, okay, that's cool. You ain't never seen BET Comedy? They're like, nah. He goes, cool, I'm about to do these jokes.
Yeah.
Y'all can get these old ones.
But they still hit.
And they do.
And that's the thing. That's another thing I realized being up in New York is like, and maybe this will be my answer to your question later, but it's like, there was a big precedent, I think, when I was younger, where it's like, you need to be generating new material and like always taking chances on stage. Yeah. And that is true. But also, I started working this club and they're like, listen, we don't care if you do new stuff. You can do the same set till you're dead. Your job
is to entertain.
go down and fucking hit. Go down and hit.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I really didn't like doing the same set. I was like, I would like be drinking just to like sort of add some pizzazz or whatever.
Right.
And then
Couple of
eventually,
tags.
yeah, but then eventually it's like, you know, there's like freedom in confinement or whatever the fuck that saying is, where it's just like maybe you're saying the same stuff, but you like I started to like build out from there.
Yeah.
So I was doing the same jokes, but I was adding stuff to those jokes. So I was still writing, and now it's like I've opened up this new middle inside my set with these all new jokes.
Bruh,
but it
yeah.
happened from just running through the same shit
Mhm.
all the time, and it's like I don't even know how it happened, but now I have this whole new sort of 5 minutes couched in the middle of it.
And it's like, that's a beautiful thing too, because like I was beginning to tell you my getting pulled over joke. By the way, do you name your jokes? Somebody asked me this because they were like that language joke you have, and I said, what language joke?
Yeah.
There's a we speak the 5 languages. I was like, oh, the getting pulled over bit.
That's the pulled over bit.
Right?
Of course I know. Yeah. When you do the set list, you got a little, you know.
Microwave pussy.
Yeah.
Proper pull out procedure.
Fucking
Getting pulled over.
Miss Kathy, yawning, sneezing, coughing. Yeah.
Soapy dick water.
Soapy dick. No, what's that?
That's what I call it. Soapy dick
Oh,
water.
that's underwear.
Underwear?
That's underwear.
Okay, soapy dick water is like that. Still tickle me so.
That joke is like 50-50. People are either like, yeah, they're like, this is nasty. Get off.
I have a joke like that right now. It's 50-50. I don't know. It's like it's not even really work yet. My wife gives me a lot of my material, just the premise. But she loves slapping my ass.
Mm-hmm.
I do not enjoy my ass being slapped, grabbed, poked, pinched, or anything.
I feel the same way, yeah.
Like, I don't mind, but I don't like, yes. Like,
Yeah.
love it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
right, like, if I'm this is what I hate, when she slaps my butt and it's soft, like I'm not flexing, and then it jiggles a little bit. That's the part that made me feel like she's trying to make me feel thick. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, bitch. That's how I feel. And she always says something slick like, oh, you skinny, but you got a jiggly booty. Like, but like that's kind of like when I've done it like 3 times and twice it has not worked.
Yeah.
And then people's like, what are you? Somebody touching you when you were a kid? You don't like people touching your butt?
Yeah.
I was like, nah, bro. They're like, did you play football? I was like, yeah, and I ain't like that shit either.
Yeah.
I got a whole body, bro. You can slap me upside the head.
My whole back area is sensitive, so if I get slapped anywhere, like in my back, on my butt, I'm just like, get the fuck.
I'm glad you said that because I have a habit of slapping people on the back.
Dude, it used to like make me mad when people slap me on the back as a kid. I'd be like, yo, fuck. I would like get really hot for a second and I'd have to calm down.
Like people would think you just tripping. You're like, nah, that's my thing, bro.
Yeah, it's just like don't, especially if it's bare. Oh, dog. It really makes me mad.
Well,
I've calmed down.
But in New York, I asked people this too before that. What is your definition of a bomb? Because a lot of people have a different bomb, like bomb or bombing. What is your definition of that?
Oh,
and then it's a 2-part question.
I mean, it's definitely. It's hard to say. It'll feel like you bombed sometimes, and your friends will be like, "You didn't bomb."
And you're
like in your head, even though you know you didn't technically bomb. It's like you didn't live up to your own standard.
Right.
You didn't do as well as you know you could do. And
I get that.
But like a bomb, shit. I don't know, because it's like it's very much a feeling. But I guess it's just when they don't laugh. Like when they don't laugh, they're not feeling you, they don't like you, they don't trust you.
They don't want you on that stage
They
anymore.
don't want you on the stage.
You don't want to be there anymore.
Yeah, which, I mean, if you think about it, you know, the further you win, the rarer and rarer something like that is. But you'll still feel like you bombed because, you know, you didn't hit like you know you hit.
Yeah.
You know, you got some laughs, but they felt friendly.
Forced.
Sure.
Or awkward laughs, or petty. I call them pity giggles.
Yeah, but that still feels like a bomb. But ultimately, the bomb it's a feeling.
Yeah.
So it's personal. It's for everybody. The worst is when you see people
that you know
do shit and they're just like, went pretty good. I was like, bro, to me, you bombed.
Plug Chapman
bombed.
said, I remember we were at Star Bar, I forget who it was eating a dick. It was somebody we know, and it was bad. Like, we were all on the side watching, and then kind of like a choir, we all just kind of went into the back. It was like 6 of us.
We can't watch this.
And then Plug was like, bombing is terrible. He said, but sometimes it's funny. He was like, it's funny when it's somebody that you know.
Yeah.
And he goes, it's even funnier when you know they're set.
Yeah.
And then you know they about to, all right, this is my good joke. I'm bombing. I'm about to get them back.
Yeah.
And then that shit don't work.
Yeah.
Woo!
The best is watching a bomb of somebody that you know and you know is good.
You know they're good.
You know they're good and you're just like, wow, this fucking... you know, it's just party that's just like, I love you, man, but this is fucking hilarious. For right now, you fucking suck, dog.
You ate a whole
And sometimes
dick.
it's you, and sometimes it's just, it feels better when your friends are there.
Yeah.
Because you're like, that wasn't it.
I feel so different about bombing now, bro. It still hurts a little bit, but I'm like better about it. You know, like I bombed in front of 112 in Mystical, October 4th.
Mystical?
Yeah, like shake your face.
Yeah,
It was right up the street too.
He had a little comeback real quick for a minute with, what's his face? Fucking, I'm getting off point. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I'm trying to remember, was it Wiz Khalifa? Nah.
No, he had a little comeback with the Horns dude. He had a good Super Bowl halftime show. Bruno Mars.
Well, I didn't know about that. 112.
Feel good.
You ever had to do a show after a musical performance?
Uh-huh.
That never works out for me.
That was one of my first bombs. That was a true bomb.
It was like a lot of people's birthdays. Bitches in there with, it was bottles everywhere, like sparklers and shit. If B103 was there, like I didn't even know it was still comedy going on. At that point,
like push it up.
He didn't even say that. Nah, like Disco and them got off stage. 112 was there singing Cupid, and then peaches and cream. I need it 'cause I'm in there dancing too. Right, and then Alton Walker goes up and he was like, everybody's birthday tonight. Everybody's like, yeah, everybody's birthday, everybody's birthday. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Amen, Alton Walker. And they get off stage. All right, we're getting ready to start the comedy show. Make some noise for first meeting tonight, my dog, Piere. I'm literally just saying, I'm like, I'm not even going to walk up there.
Yeah.
And he was like, come on, nigga. I was like, oh. I was fine for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Woo, I had him hooked. And I don't remember what I said, but it got quiet. And I said something else.
Real quiet.
And then I heard me breathing on the microphone. That's how
you just hear a slow exhale.
Then I heard the bartender start scooping ice.
Ooh.
Hella far away. And I was like, and then they just started talking. I think somebody was like, yo, that nigga trash. He didn't even yell. He just said it.
Yeah.
And I heard it. And then I see Maurice Sims give me the world's most furious light. It was already flashing. He was walking towards the stage going like this.
You're done.
And I didn't even say, is that my time? And I was like, yo, so I got pulled over and just walked off stage. I didn't leave, but I stayed.
That's hilarious.
Next dude went up was Reggie Cush. He went up and just
smacked it.
He roasted me for like 2 minutes. I heard it.
It's necessary. It's necessary to earn the crowd's trust.
But like one of the definitions of a bomb I've heard, I forget it may have been Chris Jones. He was like, if at any point you have the crowd, you have them, and then you lose them, even if you bring them back. He said, if at any point, the moment you lose them like that, you know you lost them. Yeah, he's like, you know, he said, I take that as a bomb. Even if the rest of the set went great.
No, sir. No, sir. I don't agree with Chris. I don't agree with Chris on
and
that.
Someone else is like, when you give up on your set.
Okay, actually, that's a good one.
He said, you can see it in people's eyes. I know he's talking about like when people are like, yeah, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, you're just talking a couple of jokes. I think you're like, okay, so you was like, yeah, that's a bomb.
Yeah. The thing about losing a crowd, though, I think some comics, the higher up they get, they'll do that to like test themselves. They'll like tank a set just to see if they can get it back. And it's all about, you know, the lasting impression you leave. If you have a good set and you lose them for a minute, that's a great set. It might be, you know, you could even look on it a little more fondly because you know you had to work to get them back. They weren't an easy crowd, you know. You lost their trust and then you regained it. I think there's something to that.
I've always, not always, but whenever people ask if I bombed or whatever it is, or I'll hear people bomb and they'll be like, yo, it was a tough crowd out there. I never like to say it's a tough crowd.
I don't either, but as I've gotten a little higher up, I do occasionally do it. And I was never about doing that. And I don't know if it's bad. I don't know if it means I'm losing my edge. But sometimes I'll be like, fuck that crowd. I think it's because I am doing the same jokes so consistently now, and I know how people normally respond.
React to it.
And the higher up I get, the more like well-seasoned people I see will get off, and they'll be like, fuck that crowd. Because maybe it's, and I think George Carlin actually said something about that too. If like you've been doing the jokes and they don't like them once, fuck them. Blame the crowd. Because it's like at a certain point it's for your mental health. I don't think it's a good idea when you're new and you're newish or you're still relatively new. Because if you're blaming the crowd, never puts the onus on you to get
On
better.
you to get, yeah.
But if you've proven yourself and you know how good you are, and you have a good idea of it, and other people know you're good, and you have all these credits, why not once in a while just be like, you know what? They can all eat my dick. Fuck them. They had a bad energy about them. I did everything I could. Fuck them. But again, you can't. It's all about.
You said two things just got to line up too.
Yeah, exactly. But it's all about being smart about it. You can't be doing it because you don't want to confront that maybe you suck. You know what I mean?
I say that all the time. I'm like, man, I'm the ass. After I get off stage sometimes.
Me too. Most of the time, but sometimes, now it's occasional, but I'll be like, it's very occasional.
He said, but no, I know I'm fucking him up. Like, I know I'm the shit right now. He said, but every now.
Nah, I didn't say that.
I mean, he didn't say it, I said it, folks. You know, you heard it from Sweet Pea. That sounds like a gay person's name.
That's a fine name.
But what was your most, or one of your most memorable bombs?
Dude, okay, so you were talking about the musical act thing. This is when I still lived in California. I dropped out of school to do comedy, right? And I was cut off because I wasn't in school, so I went and I was living in this hostel for like backpackers. So I would clean rooms at this hostel to live. I cleaned rooms at the hostel and they let me live there for free. I wasn't doing as much comedy as I should though, because I sort of got into like, I was on Venice Beach, I got into just like, I'd be drinking, go to the beach and just like talking to European girls and shit. But I was talking at the bar once to these guys, I'm giving you too much context here. And they were a reggae band. They're like, we're the best reggae band on Venice Beach. They thought they were the shit. And they're like, we're going to play a show. I told them I was a comic. They're like, okay, you come through and you do a set in between our show. And I invited everybody I just started working with at the hostel. And I got drunk because I was so nervous. That was a bad habit. I still have it sometimes where I'm just like, let's fucking throw some drinks on this, feel better about it. And I got too drunk and I went up for my set and I just started eating it. I started eating it so hard. And I like panicked and I tried to do like this weird like avant-garde thing where I just went silent and like looked from one end of the room to the other end of the room. I don't know what I was trying to do, but I thought it'd be funny because it was awkward or something. And it was just dead silent. True bomb. Just a true bomb. Everybody's looking at me like, what the fuck are we doing? People I just met that I started working with that I live with now are looking at me like, this kid's a joke. And then the guy that booked me on the thing, his voice cuts through the silence. He doesn't yell it. He just says it very solemnly to the stage. He goes, I thought you were funny, man. That's what he said to this stage. And then I was just like, I just tried to do my jokes as best I could. I tried to do my jokes as best I could through the silence, and then the host was like, looking at me, he's like, okay, all right, we're going to take a little intermission here. Everybody grab your drinks, and then we're going to get back to playing.
Oh, man.
And, man, you know what? There was one guy in the band that was like super cool though. He's like this chill, like blonde, like beach reggae guy. He's like, hey man, you know what you call that? Experience. Experience. And I was like, bro, thank you for saying that because I was gonna kill myself.
Like right here, I wasn't even gonna go home.
Yeah, it was so embarrassing. I've never forgotten that bomb. Never forgotten that bomb.
Inversely, where's one of the dopest places that you've been since you've been doing stand-up comedy?
One of the dopest places?
Like that you probably may not have been to or gotten to be at if you weren't doing stand-up comedy.
Fucking, I got to perform in Vegas.
Boom.
That was cool. I don't really like Vegas
No?
as a place, but I like the prestige of being like, I'm playing Vegas. Like to be able to be there and have like a hotel room paid for and know I'm getting a check and be getting free meals in Vegas where the whole thing is like, how can we take money from you?
Right.
To have them give me money, I was like, this is pretty cool. And that was like a recent thing. I was like, man, this is great.
Like, yeah, because I tell a lot of people that. I'm like, if anybody's ever told you should do something, I recommend you should do it. Or at least try it.
Yeah.
Subjectively.
Yeah.
Like, I know people, they were like, I know women that do makeup really well.
Yeah.
I was like, you should do makeup for models and shit. And they were like, no, I don't think I'm good enough. And I'm like, has anyone ever told you should play the violin professionally? Like, no. I'm like, anyone ever tell you should pour drinks for the rest of your life? No. I'm like, you should probably do makeup.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know shit about it, but that shit's fire.
And
It's like, when people's like, you should do, they've been telling me my whole life, you should do stand-up, you should tell jokes. I was just like, okay.
Sure.
No one's ever been like, you should be successful. Like, you should be a computer tech. Like, you know, people don't say shit like that unless you're meant to do it. And let me find out it's a way for me to go to Vegas to talk about my dick on stage with a microphone. That's the dream
I did
right
talk
there.
about my dick too.
You did?
Talk about it a bunch. I talked about it so much.
Talk about my dick.
Talked it up.
That's what it's all about. If you would have told me, I only been doing stand-up like 3 years. If you would have told me 4 years ago that somebody was going to pay me any amount of money to have me talking to a microphone about coming too quick,
Yeah.
I would have called you an idiot.
Telling the truth.
Like, I'm telling all the truth.
That's good, man.
But another question, no, that's what I was going to ask you. Have you ever been starstruck meeting somebody? Like,
Bro, all the time. I used to be the worst.
Do you freak out?
About not being cool about shit. I'm better about it now.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Eric Andre walked in once, and I was
is that that 1 a.m. show?
Yeah, and I was like,
I think I heard about
I was
this.
like kind of drunk. All my worst stories are like I'm drunk, but it was like he walked in and I was like, Eric Andre, I'm Mike, and he was like, hey Mike, I'm Eric. I was like, with that fucking Ali Sadiq. I met at the 1 a.m. drunk again. I was like, Ali Sadiq, I love you, man. And he looked at me like, yo, you need to get the fuck away from me right now. And I was like, okay. He gave me a look. He gave me a look. I was like, I'm gonna get the okay. I just backed up. Oh man, I fuck up all the time.
Hannibal Buress, Mandel had a freak out moment when he met Hannibal Buress.
I did too. I didn't want to bring that up, but I fucked up meeting Hannibal Buress
too. What's something that you learned from doing stand-up that you wish somebody would have told you when you first got started?
That I wish somebody would have told me when I first got started.
Like, you can't impress everyone. Not everyone's gonna like you.
You can't control all the circumstances. You know what I mean? You can only control yourself. So this goes back to what I was talking about, where it's like you got an audition. You can't control where you're at in the lineup necessarily, or how the crowd is. But all you can control is make sure you're as mentally prepared for it as possible. So it's like the day of the show, making sure you know your shit all the way down. Make sure you have your shit all the way down. Making sure you know what you're doing. Making sure you're in the best possible mind frame. You know what I mean? Drinking water, exercising, do whatever you need to do to zero yourself in and trying to eliminate worrying about the things you can't control.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I like that.
Because it's really easy to freak out about things not lining up the way you want them to, but the best thing you can do is to just put yourself in the best possible position to win by taking care of yourself and making sure you bring like the best version of yourself to the stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And this kind of goes back to like that performing the same material bit. But like my getting pulled over bit or what have you, it started like 2 years ago. And it was nowhere near, it got laughs, but it was nowhere near as good as it is now. And that came from me just repeating it. Somebody would laugh at something a little bit louder or longer at how I said something. Yeah. And then I would pick up on that and I would start talking like that more throughout the entire thing.
Again, the bit grows and the bit takes on these new forms and it gets deeper and like broader and better. And And
Jeff Foxworthy, he told me, like when you were saying earlier, like sometimes you can do the same set but people may not laugh to it. He says it's word economy. He was like, in your mind when you're on stage, you know what you want to say, but you may not remember how you said it the last time it got laughs.
Right.
He's like, it can literally be one word.
Yeah, one word will throw the whole fucking thing.
He was like, there are sometimes people have made the mistake of saying the punchline before the tag. Or like they'll say the punchline first and be like, fuck, I just said the punchline, I just ruined that joke. And there's no way to like save that. And he was like, so just be aware of what you're going to say.
And record shit. And be smart about how you record stuff, you know. Sometimes you don't need to listen back to it. But if you know you said a joke the way you like in that recording, get to that spot and listen to it. And I've noticed the difference in how something is received based on me going, A, versus me going, yo. It's like a fucking, it's this very subtle thing, but I do get a bigger laugh when I go, A, I think.
When I go, A.
As opposed to yo.
Like, for example, I've been learning, one thing I did learn from Jeff Foxworthy too, he was like, when people are being very politically correct nowadays, how to not necessarily get around it. He was like I know if black comedians do this, when they go to white rooms, they'll say, it's a lot of white people here.
Yeah.
or damn, it's a lot of white people, or yo, I'm black, I got pulled over, like type deal. I call that hacky. Personally, for me, and I know when white comedians go into black rooms, they're like, whoa, I'm white, and this, that, and the third, and
you gotta bring out your school shooter bit.
Right, you have to bring that shit up.
I remember Keita gave me a line. Baby. When I first started doing cats, she was like, because I looked like mangy, and she was like, you gotta tell him you look like a school shooter, and say, I know I look like I'm a snap, kill everybody in here, and myself. And she was like, it's very important you say, and myself. And I tried it, and it fucking hit, dog. It hit super hard. It's still, I think, in that same sort of hacky.
But I try to tell people not to do that. So instead of saying men do this and women do that, I've stopped saying that too.
Yeah.
What I say is I make it personal and say, I do this, my wife responds to it this way.
Cool.
Or this happened to me. I'm not going to say it's because I'm black, but if I was white, like,
Be a little different. But yeah, you make it more personal, you zero in a little more on the whole thing.
But I like to tell other people to do it, but you seem like you got that quote-unquote sharp rapier wit.
Rapier wit.
But we got about a good 2 minutes left here. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about, Mr. Michael Rowland, before you head out to Highland Ballroom in the Skull and fuck these shows up?
I don't know. What else did you...
Well, I'm just finally glad you're here. Because I've been trying to get this interview for about 2.5. I asked you to come on the show before I was.
Years.
It's been about 1.5 years. I'm gonna say I flexed a little bit, but it's been about 1.5 years. I asked you to come on this show before it was a show, before I was even booked on any shows.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the flex, I'll get you next time because now I'm prepared for it.
You killed it.
It's like Foskey actually told me this. I couldn't get on the Cats for like 9 months, and then I stopped going, and then he was like. I went and he saw me perform and I fucked it up at Cats, killed that room. And he was like, be thankful that he didn't let you perform 9 months ago. I was like, why? He said, if he put you on 9 months ago, would you have done as well as you just did? And I was like, no, fucking way. He was like, be thankful. I've been on the Cats like every week for like 2 months now.
Out. I wish I had gone there more. I went there, went there some, I'd hang out. It didn't always get on. But yeah, I wish I had been there a little bit more.
But I want to thank you for coming out. You can follow me on Instagram, folks, at PDiddyBoppa, PDIDDYBOPPAH, Bopa. And you can follow him at...
Michael Rowland, O_O. It's supposed to be like a little...
I noticed that when
No, everybody thinks it's Rolando. It's just Michael Rowland was taken.
Wow.
Michael Rowland, O_O.
That is dope.
No Twitter. I deleted the Twitter.
Oh, I was about to ask you, are you on Black Twitter? It's a good place. It's hella. I think you'd be dope on Black Twitter. Just don't put your actual face on there. Just keep the egg.
Yeah, just a little egg.
Well, I want to appreciate you coming through.
Thank you for having me.
All the folks, and we'll be black. If that's all white with you, adios, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, das vidanya, shalom, sayonara, aloha, ciao, auf Wiedersehen, assalamu alaikum, malaikum wassalam,
Salam.
anya hasayo. Deuces.